All right, what is up, everybody? We are back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today, I'm going to be watching my predictions for the Eastern Conference and Western Conference standings. Obviously, it's a little bit after the season. And of course, before every season, I talk about predictions. You know, in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, the awards, all the stuff like that, trying to predict last season. And almost 9 months later, I'm going to go back and see what my predictions were like. And we're going to make a little game out of it to see how accurate I was. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. I really appreciate it. If you do like the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turn on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. Look to my Twitter and all that stuff down in the description below. And yeah, don't waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So here's the game that we're going to make out of it. We're going to see how accurate I was in predicting the standings in the East and in the West. So if I got a team exactly correct in their standings, so if I predicted this team to be the 4th seed and they were the 4th seed, I get 3 points. If I was one off, if I predicted them to be 4th and they ended up being like 3rd or 5th, I get 2 points. If I was 2 off, if I predicted them to be 4th and they ended up 6th, I get 1 point. And if I'm more than 2 off, basically if I predicted them 4 and they were 10th, then I get no points. You see? So we're going to calculate and tally up how many points I get, how accurate I was. And yeah, so let's watch the video first. So first we're going to do the Eastern Conference standings. This is a video I made last year, 9 months ago, trying to predict last season's Eastern Conference standings. We'll see how accurate I was. This is kind of weird, right? Look at me, reacting to me, huh? Look at this meta content here, huh? All right, let's see where we go. I also have the standings right here on my phone, just to remember. At number 15, at the 15 seed in the Eastern Conference, we're going with the Washington Wizards. So I had Wizards 15, I get 3 points. I predict the Wizards 15, they ended up 15. So there we go. We're starting off 3 for 3. Start off with 3 points. And I went with the Wizards at 15 because the Wizards look very, very bad, which they should be. They should be very, very bad. They should be going out and trying to get a #1 pick. And they were very, very bad. The worst ever. So they can go get 18 wins. Go get Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper, the second worst team. Whoever's out there. Maybe Johnny Davis. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? It's his 3rd year. He hasn't shown anything in his first 2 years. Maybe they give him an opportunity to. No, he got cut. Next, going at number 14 for the Eastern Conference, we have the Brooklyn Nets. And we get 1 point. I had them 14. They ended up 12. But yeah, the Nets, coming into the season, everyone thought they were going to be horrible. They're supposed to be very, very bad. And then they started the year off good for no reason. And then they tried so hard to tank at the end that it just didn't really matter. So yeah, only 1 point for that one. But hey, you know, what I'm probably going to say, like, they're very, very bad. I expect them to be very bad. Even though both these teams are probably going to have, like, sub 20 wins. 20 at the most, maybe 22 wins. 23 at 26. They can get at 13 in the East. We're going with the Detroit Pistons. My first big miss. I predict them 13. They ended up being 6 and being a playoff team. But then again, you also kind of like, who expected the Pistons to be good this year? You know, like, I'm pretty sure what I'm going to say in this video is I expect them to be a little bit better. Like, no way they could be as bad as they were last year. But I don't think anybody expected them to be a top 6, avoid the play-in type of team. So I don't give myself too much slack for that, but I get no Obviously, points. We're the worst. Kay Cunningham going into year 4, expecting a big year from them, maybe an all-star type of season. Jalen Duren's out here. Jaden Ivey looks really good in preseason. At 12, we're going with the Chicago Bulls. And I don't get any points for that because I picked them 12. They ended up being 9th, being another play-in team. Because why not? Why did I not expect the Bulls to make the play-in again? Because that's just what they do. Dang, that means I have the Dang, you know what? I was a big believer in the Hornets early. I was a big believer in Charlotte. Josh Giddey, the draft. But honestly, I don't think I would be very surprised if the Bulls are worse than the Pistons this season. And they were. The Bulls, by still Levine, Lonzo Ball's going to get to play, so we'll see. And to probably, yeah, just eventually at some point be like, you know what, let's just tank the rest of the season, you know? At 11, I'm going with the Toronto Raptors. Another 3 ball. I predict the Raptors to be 11. They finish 11th. Let's go. Let's go. I was also kind of a believer in the Raptors a little bit. But after the media day when Jakob Poeltl came out and said, like, we're going to tank, that's when I was kind of like, oh, shoot. Because originally, if he didn't say that, I probably would have put the Raptors in the play-in at, like, 9 or something. Because I really liked the Raptors team at one point. But I put their a little bit lower because I was like, you know what, they might be trying to lose. But I think they're still better than teams like the Wizards and the Nets. So I'll put them at 11. I've lost a little bit of confidence after that media day when they basically, the whole team came out and said, yeah, we're not trying to win this season. You know, so that's why, honestly, that's, I think, the big reason why I didn't put them in play-in conversation. That's what it was. I put them
At number 10, I'm going with the Charlotte Hornets.
Yikes. Yikes. I don't get any points for that. Dang, I forgot that I believed a little bit in the Charlotte Hornets. I want to know why I did though. Yeah, they finished 14. They won 19 games this year. They won 19 games. And I predicted them to be a play-in team.
A little bit high, you know, and honestly,
I want to
didn't
see what I
expect them
said.
to put them, like, when you look at a roster, you're like, huh, this isn't horrible. You know,
It
it's
was
not
horrible.
great. It's not, but and we saw it the last time LaMelo Ball had a healthy season back in 2021 and 2020, like they made the play-in. Now they got smoked in the play-in, but they made the play-in. And I think this roster is a lot better than those rosters were. So I think the Charlotte Hornets, if LaMelo is healthy, I got them as a 10 seed in the East and in the play-in.
Holy airball. Oh, man. That's kind of... I mean, they did have Brandon Miller get hurt. LaMelo did miss some games, but they won 19 games, man. Like, I don't... That was the biggest miss so far.
At number 9, we got the Atlanta Hawks.
I get 2 points. Because I had them 9th. They finished 8th. So, you know, decent. They didn't make the playoffs, though, because the play-in, but...
They're just kind of like, okay, they're decent. You know, they'll probably be around a 40 to 43 win team.
They won
you know,
40
for
games,
Atlanta.
yeah.
But yeah, I have them at the number 9 seed. At the 8th seed, I have the Miami Heat.
Okay. We're going to get 1 point. 1 point. I had them 8th. They finished 10th. But basically, they kind of were the 8th seed because they made the playoffs to face the Cavs. But overall standings, they finished 10th. So I'm not going to give myself the 3, but they get the 1 point. I don't think I was a big believer in Miami this season. I really kind of wasn't.
Jimmy Butler on a contract year came in, and I'm expecting him maybe to have a serious regular season where he comes out and actually wants to try and be an all-star and can be an all-NBA type player.
It was the exact
Still
opposite,
have
actually.
Bio. You know, Tyler Hero
it was a
and Terry
circus.
Rozier are both like, I don't know what I can really trust in Miami besides Eric Spoelstra and Bam Adebayo. Like, that's really the only things I can trust.
Bam didn't have a crazy season.
So that's why
I couldn't even trust Bam. Damn.
At 7, we have the Orlando Magic as the last play-in.
Magic get 3 points. Had them at 7. They finished 7th. Let's go. A lot of that is due to injury at the second half of the year, but still, they made it as a play-in seed, as a 7th seed, and I get 3 points. Let's go.
At 6, we have the Indiana Pacers.
All right, I only get 1 point for that. I had them at 6. They finished 4th and made the NBA Finals. I definitely kind of thought the Indiana was going to slide a little bit during the season. Just because I was like, I thought last year was such kind of like, not an anomaly, but I thought it was going to be so hard to kind of recreate what they did last year that they were going to drop at some point. And I thought the teams above them are going to be like just more complete teams than them. But I mean,
Indiana.
how wrong was I, right?
At 5, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. Honestly,
and we don't get any points for this because I had them at 5 and they finished with the best record in the Eastern Conference. Because, yeah, who would have expected that they would have won 64 games, right? Yeah. I mean, I don't really
this top 5
feel mad about it. I mean,
well,
we finished
maybe
1.
not 1, but you know, and I won't be surprised if they do finish top 3, maybe even number 2. They sneak up there randomly in the Eastern Conference.
You'd have thought higher,
I
buddy.
think they just at 4, we have the Philadelphia 76ers.
Biggest miss. Well, that's going to be the biggest miss of the video. Had them finishing 4, they finished 13th. But I don't think, the thing is, it's so tough with the Sixers because I don't think anybody would have expected what happened this season to happen. I don't think anybody expected Joel to miss all that time, PG to miss all that time, Maxey to miss some time, everybody basically missing time. And when they even did play together the limited time, they weren't super dominant. I don't think anybody expected them to be this bad. Like, you would have expected if it's like they finish in the play-in because of injuries and stuff. I don't think anybody had them finishing worse than the Nets. You know? Like, that's just, it's so hard to predict these things.
They were a team.
You know, I don't think anybody
expected them. It was also kind of tough
to
judge because they do have Joel Embiid that, you know, they don't want to burn him out before April. You know, they need him for April. They'll do anything they can to save him.
They didn't even make it to April. By the time it was April, they were playing the G League guys out there.
You know, I don't think they're gonna send Joel everything. I don't think Joel's gonna play 32 games. You know, but I do think he might be around the 50 range. And if he could play
Joel
50
might
games,
have played like 30 games.
the Sixers are gonna win.
I don't even think, honestly, I don't even think Joel played 30
because
games.
they're just.
Joel played 19 games last year. Man.
And now they get a win like that. That could be about 47, 48 wins, which I do think is around what the 4 and 5 seed is going to be in the Eastern Conference. So for Philly, I have them at 4. I'm always surprised they're a little bit lower.
I predicted them
Then
have
what-
47, 48 wins. They finished with half of that. They had 24 wins.
Their actual team on
That's
paper is,
just
but right now I have them at
hilarious.
4. At the 3rd seed in the East, I have the Milwaukee Bucks.
I get 1 point. I had them 3rd. They finished 5th. I expected. I think I remember. I expected this year to be the year they put it together a little bit. A full off season of Doc, a full off season of Dame in Milwaukee. I thought this was the year they're gonna kind of put it together and be good, but that didn't really.
The
work.
Bucks also were a team that
Oh, wow.
honestly, Giannis when he's on the Bucks, they're not going to be lower than like a top 3 seed.
Well, they were. They were lower.
At 2, we have the New York Knicks again.
2 points. 2 points. I had them at 2. They finished 3. So pretty good.
The Knicks, I mean,
I was right
Carl
high on
Anthony
the
Towns is
Knicks.
there now. And at number 1, not really any surprise here, the Boston Celtics.
I get 2 points. I had them finishing 1. They finished 2, but they won 60 games.
They won a championship.
All right, so after the first video, let's see. Let's tally up how many points we had. So we had like 18 points, I want to say. The number will be up here on screen so you can see. But about 18 points. All right, let's go now to the Western Conference and see how good I did.
The 15th seed in the West, we're going with the Portland Trailblazers.
And
Portland
starting
is
off
just
with a cool 0. I had them finishing 15th. They finished 12th because they were better in the second half of the season. I expected this to be the year that Portland kind of was like, because last year I think they did a similar thing in 2024 where they like randomly got good at one point and were higher than expected. But I expected this year to kind of be a year where they kind of blank out. I expected them to trade everybody. I thought Jeremy Grant, Anthony Simons, I thought everybody was getting traded and they were going to go all young. And that didn't happen.
one of very, very, very,
So,
very,
yeah.
very few Western Conference teams that don't look like have a chance at making the play-in, honestly.
Don't
Like,
have a
look at their
chance. It's
roster.
crazy. No, they only finished
So
3
they have
games
some
out of the
decent
plane.
players on there, but it's not going to amount to anything. You know, like they're one of the few teams you can say confident in the West. Yeah, they're not going to do much. And with
Wow, one of the teams that confidently said they're not going to do much when they won 36 games and we're 3 games away from
this
making the
very,
play-in.
very tough. At 14, we are going with the Utah Jazz. Now,
So we get 2 points right there. I had them finishing 14. They finished with the worst record in the league at 15. So yeah,
for the
I
last couple
expect
years,
them-
ever since they traded
I
away
expect
Donovan Mitchell,
me to say
I've
same
always
things
put
about
Utah
Utah
very, very low,
that I said
and
about
they
Portland.
exceed. But you know, and a play-in, honestly, maybe isn't out the mix for Utah. But if I'm betting on get
Wow, I said Plain isn't out the mix for Utah, but then I said Portland's no way they have a chance. That's crazy. When Portland won almost 20 more games than Utah.
14 seed where it's going to be like 19 wins, you know, they're going to be a very competitive. The Jazz are always at least a respectable.
I said they're not going to win 19. Wow. I was believing in the Jazz a little bit like that. What the heck?
At 13, I'm going with the San Antonio Spurs.
I get 3 points. There we go. I had them at 13. They finished 13. Let's go. We did it. First snipe of the Western Conference, where there's not going to be a lot of snipes in the West.
At 12, I'm going with the LA Clippers.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot. Okay. I'm gonna say it. I get no points by the way. I had them 12. They finished 5th, and yeah, okay. So here's what I had. I remember. At this point, we didn't know what Kawhi was going to be like. We didn't know if Kawhi was even going to play in 2025 or what his injury situation was look like. And I wasn't a huge believer that in 2025, James Harden can still be a number 1 on a playoff team. I didn't believe, especially with this stacked West Conference I thought it was going to be. I didn't believe in the Clippers at all. And yeah, that's probably the stupidest I've looked on here. Not believing in a Clippers and the James Harden, kind of not believing in them. So yeah, that take my
might
L.
be a little bit. I don't know how much I believe in a potentially James Harden led team in 2024. That's the thing. Like I don't know how much I
Man.
believe in James Harden, Norman Powell,
Shout out
and
to James
Zubac
Harden, man.
against teams like the Warriors, against teams like the Lakers, against teams like the Kings, the Grizzlies.
The Kings. Oh no, I just remembered. I just remember something about this video. What team that I predicted?
At 11, we're going with the Houston Rockets.
Another huge L. Had them 11. They finished 2nd. They won 52 games. I don't think anybody expect the Rockets to be a 52 win, finish 2nd or whatever. But I think, what am I trying? I remember because the Rockets are around, like last year they were like almost made the play-in, and I was just like, dang, the West is so tight. I don't
You
know
really
if they're
wanted to
gonna
put them in that top
take
10.
over
I
that cliff.
really,
Let's see
really,
what they say.
really want the number 10 seed. I have the Golden State Warriors.
I get no points for that. Had them at 10, they finished 7th. I do remember I wasn't a crazy believer in the Warriors because this is before Jimmy Butler got traded there. And this is when it was like Steph, Draymond, and Clay just left, and it was a bunch of just like randomness. And so it was definitely kind of
the
like
Warriors.
I don't know how I feel.
Honestly, at number 9, I have the LA Lakers.
Ooh, another kind of L. I had them at 9, they finished 3rd. No one expected them to get Luka Doncic. They had a really good second half of the season.
At number 8, I'm going with the Sacramento Kings.
I get 2 points for that. I had them finishing 8, they finished 9. But what I'm gonna say in this video, I remember I was a believer in the Sacramento Kings before the season. Why? I don't know. I'm crazy. Why do you ever believe in the Sacramento Kings? But for some reason, I thought DeMar DeRozan was gonna be like a good piece to this team. And I thought the lineup of like De'Aaron, Kevin Herter, DeMar, Keegan, Sabonis, like I thought that was gonna, like I thought. I just want to hear what I say.
I really like this Kings team. I really, really do, and I think they're going to be a really good regular season team that puts up a lot of points. But after looking
They
at
won
like
48.
in like the moment, I kind of was thinking maybe Kings could be a top 5 seed in the West. Like I believe so. But then looking at the teams, it's just like, man, the Western Conference.
That's correct. That's honestly might be the worst thing I've said in this video. I'd even predict them that high, but believing in the Sacramento Kings is just crazy. It's like I don't think anybody should ever do that. I'm sorry, like believing in the Sacramento Kings is just kind of like, unless you're a diehard Sacramento King fan, which obviously you should believe in your own team. But man, I completely forgot that I was a believer in Sacramento. I thought maybe they could win like 48 games and be a top 5 seed and, you know, surprise a lot of people. Man, that just did not.
I'm going with the Memphis Grizzlies.
Grizzlies at 7. I get another 2 points. I had to finish 7. They finished 8th, but tied for 7th.
Now going above the play-in. At number 6, I have the New Orleans Pelicans at number 6.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god. I'd even think about like, dang, where are the Pelicans? Wow. I forgot that I was a believer in New Orleans. I was a believer in the Pelicans. I guess maybe I thought the DeJounte signing was gonna be good. Definitely believed in Zion having a comeback here. Dang, that's a huge L. Man, the West is just, I mean, the Western Conference was so stacked and so tough. It was gonna be obvious I was gonna have some misses. But man, what I missed on the Rockets, I missed on the Lakers, I missed on the Blazers, I missed on the Pelicans. I dang near could have missed on the Kings in terms of what I thought they were gonna be. Not where I actually put them, but my thinking behind them. Man, bro, I didn't even realize I didn't even realize I didn't talk about the Pelicans yet. I was going through the entire thing. I did not realize I didn't say New Orleans yet. Wow, I had them finishing above the play-in. I had them finishing above the play-in. They won 20 games. Wow. What did I say about that?
But the Brandon Ingram, I think, has something to play for. You know, with his contract,
Brady could play like 10 games.
It's just really it's been about the injuries and just haven't really been able to find their groove at the right time. But I think if Zion is there and he has an all-NBA type of season, this Pelican team is going to be high.
Wow.
Number
wow. That's crazy that I've talked so much in this video about injuries and health, yet I gave the Pelicans a pass on the injuries when they are like dang near the poster child for injuries. Like, that's crazy that I've talked about health and being concerned for some of these teams and all that stuff. I put the Clippers low because I didn't trust in Kawhi's health. I talked about the Sixers maybe not trusting Joel's health. Yeah, I gave the Pelicans the pass to be like, nah, they're going to be healthy this year. Like, that's kind of crazy that I did that, man. Wow.
5 seed, I have the Phoenix Suns at 5.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yeah, they didn't make the play-in, and I had to finish at 5. Oh, my goodness, man. This is wild. This is wild.
Of course, we have KD, Booker, Bradley Beal. You're going to score a lot of points. You're going to win a lot of games that way. But it's been the other. I think it's going to rely a lot. But I do believe they have the possibility of being a top 3 seed in the West. But for
Oh
me,
man,
I'm having
no.
a 5.
Man.
At the 4 seed, I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks, same as they were last season.
We're on a bad streak right now, man. We are on a bad streak. Had them finishing 4, they finished 10th. But then again, no one expected Luka Doncic to not be a Maverick anymore. So you have to give yourself a
Dallas,
little bit of a pass.
I mean, they went to, at the 3rd seed. I have the Denver Nuggets. Denver.
Okay, finally get some points on the board. I get 2 points. Had them finishing 3rd, they finished 4th. Okay. Yeah. Man,
There's been a lot
that
of
was a
things going on
bad
in Denver.
stretch right there,
Obviously,
man. I went 3 or 4 in a row.
changing
That was
some
just
stuff.
like
No more
miss,
KCP. Bringing in Russell
miss.
Westbrook. At the 2 seed, I have the Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right, but we get no points for it because they finished 6th. And ended up being number 2. But
even though they did
they were
make
good
the
in the last
trade,
quarter
brought
of
in
the
Julius
season.
Randle,
So
DiVincenzo, they're still going to be an
I'm
amazing
surprised I
regular
put them
season
that
team.
high.
OKC Thunder.
Okay,
I
number
mean,
1. Let's go.
They have potential to have the best record in the NBA this season.
And they
were
did.
number 1 seed last year.
Yeah, there it is. So those are my predictions. Here are the total points. They're up here. I don't remember how much I have right now, but that's how many points I had. Good for me. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, liking, turning on notifications, doing all stuff like that. I'd really appreciate it. It really helps out a lot. And yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.